Good afternoon. Welcome to Curious Minds State of AI report for February 2025. And I want to welcome everyone. I'm thrilled to have all of you here, and I want to congratulate you on committing the time to explore such an incredibly important technology. Now, today's program is designed for people that have anywhere from little to no exposure to AI to folks that have explored AI but committed little time to implementing either personally or professionally, and also to those that have more advanced knowledge of AI. I'm quite sure that you will pick up some nuggets of information that you will find valuable. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to explore some of the global investments and policy shifts that are taking place. We're going to look at some of the technological advancements that are taking place. We're going to also look at AI integration in business operations. We're going to look at some of the actual case studies. We're going to talk about some of the emerging trends and the future outlook for AI at this stage, and then some of the ethical and regulatory considerations that you might want to consider as you're looking at projects for your own business. And then finally, we'll cap off with just a brief introduction to our AI Ambassador program and AI for All program. And then we can end with some Q&A at the very end. So with that, let's get moving. So why me? Why do you want to listen to what I have to say? Quite frankly, AI versus the throngs of people who are professing to be AI experts. First, I've been involved in the technology, in general technology, for over 50 years. And in the 80s, I was exploring extremely large data models, working with literal massive amounts of data relative to heavy construction projects. These are large mining, dam, heavy construction highway projects, things like that. And in the 90s, I was working on a robotic machine control system where we were automating huge construction, mining, dredging, agricultural, and engineering projects. And some examples would be the Fresno Dam was built using our tool set, as well as Yorba Linda, Long Beach remodel, extensions to the John Wayne Airport, and I can go on. In the early 2000s, I was involved in a large-scale knowledge management project. And then in the mid-2000s, I owned a managed IT services company. It was a partner with Salesforce and had clients like Sony and Canon, Alcatel, and a number of others. I've been involved in one way or another with machine learning since 1993. Now, what are some of the investments and policy shifts that are taking place right now? Let's start with the Action Summit in Paris. So it was held February 10th and 11th. The summit emphasized economic opportunities enabled by AI. The European Union launched Invest AI, which was a 200 billion euro initiative, including 20 billion euros allocated for building AI gigafactories. And additionally, private investors pledged nearly 110 billion to France's AI sector, with significant contributions from the UAE and also from a Canadian firm called Brookfield. And then, of course, in the US, you had the executive order by President Donald Trump, signed an executive order aimed at accelerating American AI development, essentially by removing any regulatory barriers. And this move has intensified competition amongst US retailers and other industries to implement AI solutions, enhancing supply chains and predictive analytics and the kind. One thing I should mention is that with these changes are happening extraordinarily fast, for one. But the main thing I want to get across is particularly for you enterprise organizations. This is an unusual time, and it's an unusual time because this is one of the few times in history where the competitors, OpenAI, Microsoft, Tesla, and so on and so forth, they're talking to each other. They're communicating with each other because the competition is not only, in and amongst the group here in the US, but strongly against China and other adversaries that are developing AI systems. And so there's a lot of communication that's going on. So if you're thinking or expecting privacy like you've had in the past, you might want to rethink how you approach your projects. All right, moving on. So some of the technological advancements that we've seen just in the past month. Let's start with DeepSeek. So DeepSeek was that Chinese kind of upstart company that came out of nowhere that demonstrated that they could compete with training models that literally consumed massive amounts less than what OpenAI and the US counterparts were consuming in training their models. Instead of billions, they were down around 6 million. And Now they've rolled out their R2 model, and it offers enhanced coding, multilingual reasoning capabilities, and it certainly has positioned DeepSeek as a major competitor in the space. Next, we have Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Anthropic unveiled its most advanced AI model to date, which is the Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It incorporates a hybrid reasoning approach. This model combines multiple problem-solving methods to enhance efficiency and accuracy. And notably, it offers an extended thinking mode for users with a paid plan, allowing the model to self-reflect before responding. This feature improves performance in areas such as mathematics and physics and coding and instruction adherence. So if you've got projects where it's involving either mathematics or particularly coding projects, their Sonnet 3.7 model is a great choice. Next, we've got OpenAI's Operator Assistant. Now, this is particularly for people that are on right now their Pro plan, which is the $200 a month plan. And think of it as a mini agentic. In other words, these are AI assistants capable of handling specific tasks like ordering groceries or processing ticket purchases or things like that. So that's a semi-autonomous agent that operates within the environment. Next, you've got Alibaba's open source video generation model. They've got plans to release an open source version of their AI model Wan 2.1. That's capable of generating realistic videos and images, and the initiative aims to foster innovation and collaboration within the AI community. Wan 2.1 has achieved top performance on the VBench leaderboard for video generative models, and they've committed to significant investment to the tune of 380 billion yen over the next 3 years to enhance its cloud computing and AI capabilities. Next, you've got xAI's Grok 3 model. This is Elon Musk's AI venture. It introduced their latest model, Grok 3, claiming superior performance over OpenAI's GPT-4 and DeepSeek's version 3. They utilize 10 times more computing power than its predecessor, Grok 2, and is marketed as an advanced chatbot available to premium subscribers of X. The model also features Deep Search, an AI-powered search engine that provides explanations for its responses. And while these performance claims await independent verification, early feedback indicates really state-of-the-art capabilities. Next, we've got Google's Gemini 2.0 updates. This is DeepMind's division announced updates to their Gemini 2.0 AI model, introducing versions such as 2.0 Flashlight and Gemini Pro Experimental. Gemini 2.0 Pro Experimental is designed to enhance coding performance and handling complex prompts, featuring a substantial context window of 2 million tokens and integrated tool usage. That also includes Google Search and code execution. Their Lite version offers a cost-efficient solution with improved quality over previous models, maintaining speed and affordability. Then you've got Adobe's Firefly video model. It's a generative AI video tool positioned as the industry's first commercial safe option for brands and creative professionals. There's a lot of, I don't think competition is quite the right word for it. There's a lot of conflict, if you will, between the intellectual property owners and people that are in effect stealing intellectual property to be able to train their models. So you're going to see this kind of conflict going on for some time, I'm afraid. And then finally, in the area of robotics, there are AI-driven humanoid robots that have seen significant progress, like Tesla's Realbotix, Clone Robotics, developing robots capable of realistic human-like movements and interactions. And I don't know if any of you have watched any of the YouTube videos, but they've got one that's basically doing dance moves, and I'm telling you, they're very smooth. You don't get that choppy movement that you would typically see in previous models of robots. Very smooth movement. The speed with which they're making progress in this area is just incredible. And so those are the latest changes. Now I want to switch away for a second, and I'm going to actually share a different screen for a second. So bear with me one second, because what I want to do is I'm going to bring my browser over where you can see it. Hopefully I can get it where you can see it. Okay, there we go. And what I want to show you is some of these models that we just talked about. So this is actually a GPT done on OpenAI. If I just go into the regular ChatGPT 4o, this is including AI PRM integrated into it, which hence the public prompts that are available. But the main reason what I want to get across here is, And one of the handouts I'm going to be providing is actually a handout that discusses the different LLMs and what they're used for, because I know most of the people that I've been interacting with all use OpenAI, and none of them have really experimented with some of the other LLMs that are in the marketplace. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't look at some of these other models, or at least understand what the strengths and weaknesses of each of these models, so that you're using the correct model for whatever task it is that you're trying to accomplish. The first one I'm going to show you, this is Claude. This is the newest version of Claude. And this is more of a, think of this as more of a kind of collaborative environment, where you can basically pick your style, you can enter your prompt, you can create a project environment, which is what you're looking at right here. This has been generated as a project environment, and it's been preloaded with lots of documents, so that when you're interacting with this, it's interacting based on the documents that I preloaded into the system. Now, as you can see right over here, this is where I've loaded up the project content. So you can see I've got my affiliate offers, I've got descriptions of the principals, I've got my backstory. You can see there was a number of other products that were loaded in here. So everything from descriptions of my products to descriptions of our training program. So you can see right here, here's my tactical plan. Here's testimonials, ideal. So all this is preloaded, which means when I start to initiate prompts here and interacting with Claude, it basically is pulling from all this data to craft its responses. So I'm getting a much more defined, tailored response to my prompt. So this is Claude. The next one, this is X. This is their AI entry, Grok. And you can see basically it operates within the X environment. And you can essentially ask it anything from here. You can attach documents. Again, this one has a deep thinking mode. It also is really good at things like coding, very competitive. The next one is Gemini's 2.0 model. This is, again, really built for the agentic area. What they're talking about there is everybody's moving towards agents. And there's two kind of, I'll try to keep this as simple as I can, two fundamental types, if you will. There's a kind of a vertical, which is very task driven, and it doesn't really wander outside of its set of tasks. So it basically will execute a key set of actions. And then you've got more of the horizontal, where it is allowed to think and be able to act beyond just the pure task that it's given. For example, if I were to create a sales solution, I would create an agent that is a horizontal design that is capable of thinking on its feet based on the interaction it's having with the customers. I could also have other agents that are doing very specific tasks within that overall framework. So anyway, this is Gemini 2.0, something you want to take a look at. And then this is Google's AI Studio. So within the AI Studio, you can see you've got a lot of control over the token counts. You can see the temperature, the tools that you're using, whether it's code execution. If you want to work with a certain set of recipes, you can click on the recipes and bring up recipe code. So there's a lot of different functionality here that's really driven by something that's more code driven. And then last but not least, we've got Adobe Firefly, which is all focused on video production and image production, and done at finally a commercial level where they're recognizing intellectual property rights, as compared to some of these models that are out there that you can suck up anybody's intellectual property and it's not going to really care. And they leave you to fend off any lawsuits that might come because of that. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a snapshot of what that was all, what some of these different models look like. So getting back to our presentation, the next thing we'll get into is some actual case studies where people are actually developing these agents and applying them in a real world way. So let's take 3Men Movers as an example. So this is in the retail industry. It's a Texas-based moving company. They've implemented AI technology to monitor their driver behavior and optimize their routing. The AI system actually alerts the drivers and supervisors to any distractions. For example, if the driver starts using their smartphone, it's going to alert not only them, but their supervisor. enhancing safety and reducing the overall company's liability. Additionally, AI routing helps them avoid high-risk areas and improves overall operational efficiency. In the fashion industry, you've got retailers like Victoria's Secret and Swarovski that have embraced generative AI to personalize customer experiences and streamline operations. AI applications in marketing, search optimization, and customer service have yielded measurable improvements through long-term impact on sales amidst economic fluctuations remains to be seen. Then you've got JP Morgan Chase in the financial sector. The bank introduced the LLM Suite, a generative AI tool accessible to its 300,000 employees. Approximately 100,000 staff members utilized the suite for tasks such as preparing client briefings and analyzing documents. In call centers, AI aids agents in swiftly addressing customer inquiries by navigating complex product and service information. Then you've got Tiger Brokers. This is a Chinese brokerage firm that have integrated DeepSeek's AI model, DeepSeek R1, into its chatbot, Tiger GPT. And the AI-enhanced chatbot provides clients with advanced market analysis, trading insights, reflecting a broader trend among Chinese financial institutions adopting AI to transform operations. Then we've got Alibaba. The Chinese tech giant announced a $53 billion investment over 3 years to enhance its AI and cloud computing infrastructure. This substantial investment commitment aims to position Alibaba as one of the leading global cloud providers and underscores the company's focus on AI-driven growth. Then many of you are familiar with Vimeo. Under CEO Philip Moyer, Vimeo is integrating AI to support a diverse clientele from independent creators to large enterprises. The company leverages AI to provide personalized video experiences and improve content management, reflecting a strategic shift towards enterprise video hosting services. And then last but not least, we have the Schaeffler Group. It's a Hamburg facility. Schaeffler incorporates Microsoft's Factory Operations Agent, an AI tool that diagnoses defects and operational issues in the production of steel ball bearings. This integration streamlines the identification of assembly line problems, enhancing manufacturing efficiency. Now, again, I'm going to break away from the presentation for a second, and I'm going to take you to my browser, and I'm going to show you a couple of small projects for you solopreneurs and entrepreneurs out there and small businesses that give you an idea that, it's not just for the big boys. There's other things that you can do. The first one I'm going to show you is actually, it's in progress. It's not finished, but this is a project that I'm developing for a client. And in this particular project, let me get to it real quick here. In this particular project, what we're doing is we're taking let me pop this up so you can see it. So what we're doing is we're taking a course that he had developed, and it was back then it was called Find Your Niche, and I just found out we're actually changing the name, but it's called Find Your Niche. And the idea was that you go through this step-by-step training, learning your distinction, learning basically your 7-step sales process and kind of the principles behind it, and you discover your own individual distinction by looking at things like within the particular niche you serve, what are your strengths, your weaknesses, the problems that they're faced, the values, and so on. And then what you do is once you've gotten through all this information and you compile it all, the first thing you do is you go in and you fill out information on your top 5 customers. You're basically identifying who the customer is, whether they're B2B or B2C, and then what is the business or industry or profession that they're in. And you do that for all 5. Then the next step beyond this is you go to, let me switch over to it. So the next step is where you are actually going to then process the other data that's going to be necessary to actually leverage AI to actually produce a report for you that's going to give you your ICP or your ideal customer profile. And the way it's done is, that didn't get to the place I want. Let me get back over here, and it should be, there we go. And here, what you're doing is you're entering first, you select your very best customer, either your B2B or B2C. You don't do both, you do one or the other. So let's say it's B2B. So you'll input all this information about your best customer. So everything from the name down to things like their hard characteristics in terms of the industry they're in, the territory they serve, how many employees, what kind of revenue, down to soft characteristics like what kind of problems do they face, what is the similar products or services that they've purchased in the past, and then historical data in terms of what was the amount of the first sale to them, how long did that sales cycle take, and so on. So you populate all this information. And then once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to do that again, but for each of your top 5 customers. So in the end, you're going to have 6 customer profiles, your best customer, and then the next top 5. And you're going to fill out all this information. And then what I do is in this case, I'm actually using Zapier. And using Zapier, what I'm doing is I'm creating a Zap that is taking this data, which is actually going into a platform called Go High Level. So all that data goes into Go High Level, and then I use Zapier to basically suck the data out of Go High Level, drop it into OpenAI's ChatGPT, and then using ChatGPT to actually crunch all that data into a final report that will then describe, based on real data, your data, what your ideal customer profile should look like. And then you can use that to create your own GPT inside of ChatGPT as you go forward, creating your sales funnels, creating email sequences, and so on and so forth. It should be a pretty interesting and exciting project by the time it's done, but not very complex to do, as you can see, and really requires virtually no code at all. So just about anybody can do this. The next one is one that's a project that I'm doing for somebody else where, let me see if I can spot it real quick here because I think I had it opened. Yeah. So in this case, imagine you've got a training program that you've developed. And now people are going through that training program and they have questions. And typically what they do is obviously they come to you to get those questions answered. But what if they had a place where they could go and they could actually ask their questions of an AI coach? So the idea behind this is you've got an interface where they can either pull up predefined prompts or questions that get asked of the AI, or they can simply freehand type in the questions that they have, and then the system will return a response. Now, there's 2 modes of this. There's this format that you see here. It can also be done like a chatbot, where they come in and it's basically the same thing. Now, the source of the data, again, comes from, in this case, it's actually coming from a book. It's coming from the actual courseware itself, as well as from the websites that are behind this courseware, and so on. And so all that data is scraped and pulled together, and that's the source that AI pulls from to be able to answer all those questions. A very effective little tool to be able to handle the support for any of the coaches or courseware that you might have. And again, no coding involved. It's very simple to build and construct. A little bit of time involved, obviously, pulling everything together, but a very simple project in the end. Okay, now back to our presentation. So moving on. So some of the emerging trends in the future outlook. So first, there's the expansion of generative AI. So generative AI, initially popularized through content creation tools, is now extending its influence into diverse industries. So you've got, for example, the fashion industry, where retailers are leveraging generative AI to enhance customer personalization and operational efficiency. You've got healthcare and product design, where generative AI is being utilized to innovate in product design and healthcare solutions, demonstrating its versatility beyond just traditional content creation. Then you've got the emergence of these AI agents or agentic AI. This is evolving from simple chatbots to sophisticated systems capable of performing complex tasks autonomously. I can see a potential day where you could have a solopreneur running a business where key functions like sales, support, operations could be run by an AI agent, thereby allowing a solopreneur to build a multi-million-dollar company with employees solely being these AI agents. You also have the integration of multimodal AI. So multimodal AI simply means the combination of forms. For example, they're able to process and interpret multiple forms of data, whether it's graphics, whether it's text, whether it's video, etc. Then you got to focus on AI human collaboration. The narrative around AI is shifting towards collaboration between humans and machines. In other words, workplace transformation is about AI expected to augment human capabilities, automating repetitive tasks and allowing the employee to focus on more strategic activities. This collaboration aims to enhance productivity and job satisfaction. Then you've got the knowledge work evolution, where AI is anticipated to transform knowledge work by integrating with human workflows, creating new roles that oversee and manage AI tools, thereby expanding the definition of cognitive labor. And then finally, investment in AI infrastructure. You've got significant investments being made to support the growing computational demands of advanced AI models. You've got data center expansion. Major technology companies are collectively directing substantial funds towards data center expenditures to accommodate the increasing need for AI processing power. Now, this is where things start to get interesting, because the energy demands for this are extraordinary. And so one of the concerns is whether or not we're ultimately going to be able to produce enough energy to support the demands for all of this. So that's something that's being seriously looked at by a number of parties. Then you've got the democratization of AI technology. And so efforts are underway to make AI more accessible. Educational initiatives, where programs are aimed at democratizing AI education, being implemented to ensure inclusive and fair technology use, particularly in developing countries. And then AI literacy for workers. Companies are encouraged to reimagine roles and provide necessary skills to create an AI-first inclusive workforce, emphasizing the importance of AI literacy. In the ethical and regulatory realm, you've got the Make It Fair campaign. It's the UK's creative industries launched the Make It Fair campaign to challenge proposed changes to the copyright laws that could allow tech companies to use creative content for AI models without the permission or compensation by the artist. This initiative underscores the ongoing debate over intellectual property rights in the AI era. Then you also have the Global AI Development Focus at the AI Global AI Action Summit in Paris. Leaders recognize the need to direct AI investments toward critical challenges such as urbanization, carbon emission reduction, and biodiversity restoration. This reflects a growing awareness of aligning AI development with sustainability and human well-being. My recommendation particularly for you that are just getting started in the AI space, start small. Begin by using some AI tools for one or two tasks, like automating emails or using chatbots. A lot of tools, you can get a free version to start with, or very low cost, either free or low cost plans or trial versions. Make sure you educate yourself. In fact, we offer several different programs for the mid to enterprise markets. We offer our Ascend AI Ambassador program. This is a program where we not only teach the fundamentals, but we develop MVPs within your organization that are trained on strategy, that are trained on process, that are given the tool set to be able to help guide the organization in the development and action on your own internal projects. And then for the SMB market, for your solopreneurs and coaches, trainers, consultants, etc., we have our AI for All program, which is really focused around the tool set and helping people to really get the value out of using the tool, and not just using ChatGPT, for example, but using the full tool stack that you would need as a solopreneur to be able to produce your graphics, your video, obviously your text content, things like email and so on. So these programs are available for you. And then finally, if you have any questions at all, feel free to scan the code, reach out to us, or send an email to either support@igloodigitalmarketing.com or sales@igloodigitalmarketing.com. And we will be sure to get back to you with the answers to any questions that you might have. And with that, I thank you for attending and participating, and wish you an awesome day.